So they're doing the usual conservative spiel about the um, war-making powers being taken over by the executive instead of the Congress. Whatever it is that you think about, the Constitution and the way they break things down, and whether that's right or wrong, or if it even matters, this idea that power is being um, consolidated in the executive is missing the plot, and that's often the case with these guys, right? So, the reason I watch these is because they were able to bring me some information from here and there that I might not see anywhere else. But it's acting as a useful foil to try and debunk a lot of things that are commonly held by um, these ANCAPs and otherwise conservative types. Um, it's not to suggest that this isn't a phenomena that's happening. It is. Power is moving from the um, legislative branches in the United States to the executive branch, or war-making power specifically. It's a long process. It's been happening for a long time. A lot of people would argue that the um, turning points actually were upwards of 30, 35 years ago, and that we've been living in a reality where the Congress has almost no power regarding war for um, you know the better part of 2 generations, um, to the point where we're you know mostly living in a society where people don't remember a time where war was determined by Congress. It's how it's always been. Um, but the reason it's missing the plot is because the president is not actually making those decisions. And in fact, the people around the president are only making those decisions via proxy. Those decisions are, in fact, actually being made by the military. And the real narrative that you hear nowhere, okay, is about the loss of civilian control over the military, which I would argue is a far more important constitutional aspect in the American um, system of government than whether this branch of government or that branch of government gets to decide who bombs who. The idea that it is determined by civilians and thus subject to change and direction by popular will is the key aspect, whether it's executive or judicial that ends up doing it. Or, did I say judicial? Whether it's legislative or executive or, God forbid, judicial, right? But what we're seeing, what we've seen since Reagan anyways, and perhaps Carter, is a series of presidents that have not shaped the outcome at all, and the establishment of a career military bureaucracy that's established itself. My battery's low, and I don't really have a lot to say besides pointing that out. That every time you hear this argument, you're misunderstanding what's happening, and that's that the military itself is taking more and more control over the state, leading to a militarized state. And whether we're there or not, we're pretty close.